Hey guys, today I'm going to say that how I'm going to help Andrew Yang outside of donating my Christmas spending money. It's not a lot this year, but it is something, and I'll have to figure out what my total donations are, and then post it likely on the community tab on YouTube because I kind of like it. You can put polls and things, it's fun. So how am I going to help Andrew Yang get more donations? So one thing that I'm really good at doing is storytelling. And you might find that kind of confusing, but I'm not a great storyteller on video. I'm a much better storyteller on like LinkedIn when I kind of think about it. These videos are a stream of consciousness. There's no editing. Sometimes the pictures don't even make sense, but it's like, okay, whatever. Just keep them in there. When it comes down to money, that's what one of my strengths are. I'm not good at canvassing. I couldn't even imagine canvassing. That would seems like it's very cold. And it sounds like a terrible excuse, but nonetheless, it is. And I live in Texas, so why am exactly canvassing for the Democratic primaries, right? So I can help Andrew Yang, and a lot of politicians, they receive money from states that may not be their home state. Andrew Yang is one of them. He receives a lot of money from California and quite a bit of money from Texas. And at the very least, I can bring attention to people who don't know his story. So his story is an entrepreneur story. It's a very good story. I like it. A lot of my friends like it. And whenever you're dealing with entrepreneurs, they are going to respect someone who went on a ledge and jumped and flew. And this is survivorship bias, which I've already talked about. Many of you say, not everyone can go to NYU. Not everyone can go to William & Mary Law School. Yeah, you're right. And not everyone can start their business. You're right. Most businesses fail. 9 out of 10 startup small businesses fail within 2 years, 2 to 3 years. And it is whenever you go to a store, even a very local small store, you have to realize how difficult it is to run one of those things. Because I ran a Magic the Gathering retail store and overhead, employees, and all of this stuff. So it is very encouraging to see when someone does do well. All entrepreneurs like other entrepreneurs, because everyone's story is different. Everyone's story is a little unique, and I think Andrew Yang's story has a lot of appeal because it resembles my story. The reason I have so many followers on LinkedIn is because I tell my story. And again, I'm a very good storyteller when it comes to like content like that is not stream of consciousness, because I can think about what I'm saying and put it in a easier to understand arrangement. But here, that's what I can offer. I can offer Andrew Yang reach that he typically would not be able to get, mainly because most of my friends and the people who follow me are Republicans, and they do own businesses or work for Fortune 500 companies. That's who follows me. My demographic of following is the kind. Besides, they tend to be older, and I mean, basically older people use LinkedIn. So as a platform alone, LinkedIn has a specific demographic that I think Andrew Yang is having a little difficulty reaching. Andrew Yang, again, very good with, very good with young people, very good with males. So young people, for the most part, don't own businesses or are working for Fortune 500 companies. I mean, like 18, 19, you have to graduate college before you do one of these things. I feel, and this is my gut feeling, that a lot of the individuals I introduced to Andrew Yang, it is their first time hearing about him. They don't know who he is, and the best job I can do is to get them to research, and then to continue to bring his name up and in that storytelling mode. So when you want to convince someone to do something, you cannot just hit them with if you want to convince someone who doesn't understand your product, which would be Andrew Yang in this case, to buy your product, to vote for him, or in this case, donate to him, you have to story tell, and you have to understand why you have to tell them, explain why this brand is different. The majority of people on LinkedIn are not donating to anyone. Politics is not a big part of LinkedIn, so it's kind of a trickier thing because politics is kind of frowned upon in a business sense, right? And that's what I found. I found that there is some pushback. People don't want to go on their LinkedIn and see politics because that's Facebook, right? And I do get criticized quite often that I treat my LinkedIn profile as my Facebook. But the end goal is very simple. For me, I'm not expecting these people to vote for Andrew Yang. I'm just hoping they're going to donate some money to his war chest, and that's the goal. I mean, you have to be very linear in what you think. I invented this app called Kambachi. Well, I didn't invent it. My Ukrainian friend invented it. And it's called Kambachi, and it is the way that developers schedule milestones, and that's how I think. I think like a developer. I'm a lawyer, and I think like a patent attorney in terms of claims, and there's a very sequential way you do things, figures. So my analysis of things may be very different from your analysis and your take of things, and I just piecemeal it. So for me, the goal, to get to the goal, I'm willing to sacrifice pieces on my chessboard to go there. And right now, what I'm giving up is I'm giving up people who are more Republican, that are staunchly Republican, who may follow me. So I have lost followers. You might be like, oh, 49,000. No, I've lost followers based on the things I've said about Andrew Yang. And because, again, it doesn't matter if you actually like Andrew Yang or not. It's just assumed that in LinkedIn, politics is going to not be a big issue. And it's hard to bring up, hey, vote for this guy. I mean, it's not Facebook, right? I get told this all the time. It's not Facebook. It's not Facebook. From like, ugh. But in real life, it does have an effect. And the effect is people have donated money based on my suggestion. Before I did Andrew Yang, I actually fostered 11 dogs, 3 cats, and I would use LinkedIn as a platform to get these pets adopted. And it worked every single time because I would say, oh, hey, this is the dog. I would tell the interesting story. And then a guy actually from Switzerland, the furthest way that someone's adopted a dog from me is Switzerland. He filled out the paperwork, all the forms and he was a real dude. I think his wife was a airplane attendant, so that made sense because she was traveling to Houston all the time, and everything went well, and the dog is now in Switzerland. So I do know that social media can have an impact, and especially my social media can have an impact in donations. Whenever I put like, oh, a GoFundMe there, it typically gets funded relatively fast. Well, not like relatively fast, okay? So it's not like it just boom. Because a lot of eyes see my post all the time. I really do want Andrew Yang to win, and that would be a really great gift to me for Christmas. But every dollar, every cent matters. Like I said before, I'm going to contribute all my YouTube revenue in some way. I've been looking into it, and it's a little more difficult because I can't ship you the hat. I can't buy the hat for you and then ship it. The hat has to be shipped to me, and then I had to ship you the hat and exchange, I guess, like a used hat or something. It's more complicated legally than I thought it would be. But at the same time, we'll figure it out. I always do. Yeah, I think the campaign Andrew Yang has a real hope. He's top 5, and we can be proud of that. Not every candidate is top 5, and not everyone who... I do hope he wins, but I'm also realistic. And I think at some point in time, Andrew Yang would be a very good VP for other candidates. If we have to cross that bridge, I do hope that Andrew Yang considers all of his options. And the more, honestly, the more entrepreneurs, the more Asian males that we have, Asians in general, we have in politics, the better. Representation has been a very big issue. As a marketing agency owner, there's not many Asian people who own marketing agencies. Like, it's really weird, right? Because all the worker bees are Asians. but none of the bosses are. I guess that's not weird. That's probably true in every field. And it's hard to be a boss. It really is hard to be a boss, be responsible for employees, be responsible for the employees' children's paychecks on time. And like this stuff that like no one really talks about, like there's always so much drama around paycheck time. Even if the money's in the account, there's always so much drama about this. It's really, it is taxing to own a business. And as one entrepreneur to another, it's always good to see people who have tried something and see it actually work. The majority of people are going to try something and it's going to fail, or they give up too soon. That's the main problem I find with people today is they give up too soon. You gotta fight, you gotta claw, you gotta bite, you gotta do whatever you can, because at the end of the day, that's your legacy. Bye, guys.